Oh, the Spiral Times presents. Okay, so my name is Angie from Southern California. So yeah, I'm an American, um, and a lot of people know me as hippie. That's one of that's my street names. I also speak Spanish, so I'm bilingual, and so some people know me as Espanol. But uh, I'm a damn hippie. The more you get to know me, I really am. I'm a Rasta. There's my mom's dad. My mom is from Wyoming, so she's from a very conservative Republican Mormon side of town family. I'm the second oldest of like 100 cousins. You know how they can be, and which is cool. I grew up working on a ranch, so I grew up riding horses and doing ranch work. Which is till this day I really love horses. My dad's side of the family's from the East Coast. He grew up in upstate New York. Mostly the family's originally from Massachusetts since the Mayflower. The Osborne family, descendants of John Proctor. If you've seen The Crucible, one of the first to be executed in the Salem witch trials. Catholic, and that side of the family is a French Canadian on one side, only third generation American, and English, so Franco Anglo. And I've actually moved around all my life, so I just say I'm from Orange County because that's where I lived as a teenager, and it really had a lot to do with shaping my personality and things like that. So that's it's something I say so you'll understand, because when you ask, you're trying to get to know me, So I'd say I'm from Southern California, dude, and all that. I grew up going to the beach, and I know how to surf and things like that. So yeah, I was like the high school drunk. I started drinking at a really early age, and I think I had my first beer at age 6 or something like that. But I didn't really become a rocker. My dad's also Republican. Both my parents are Republican Mormon, and I disagreed really early in life. I disagreed tremendously with a lot of their concepts, but didn't really care. I would describe myself today as a liberal. You know, I'm not really on this side or that, but I'm a damn hippie, like I said. The Grateful Dead are a big thing with me. Um, yeah, I voted for Kamala. See, I voted. And I have on Coffee Chat with Angie. I talk about everything. I do have an episode that I made right after Trump won the elections, and I still feel the same. For all through my 20s. Anyway, till this day this is my most recent one, right there. But my favorite band has always been Dio. I used to wear a Dio shirt all the time. For my first concert was Dio and Megadeth. Um, but this is just the ones I have now. But I've just always made like each year I make like a new jacket, and I have all my life, and so yeah, I'm a rocker. That was like as high school, I was a rocker. That's the AC/DC and Iron Maiden and all that. But then in my 20s, I was a punk rocker, which is kind of why I'm bringing this up, because like nowadays the world's so polarized. Like yes, I'm left leaning, but I would say I'm a liberal. I voted for Kamala. I'm sad that Trump won, but like I say in that video, I'll link it in the description box. I forget which episode it is of Coffee Chat with Angie, but I believe in positive thinking. Like I said, I'm a Rasta, so here's my altar to the goddess. And Bob Marley is like a prophet to me. I'm a dreadlock Rasta. I've had dreadlocks most of my adult life, even since before transitioning. But I'm really just a witch. A witch can choose any deity, so you typically have, like one for the goddess, which is Mary, for me, and one for the God, Yahushua, which is Jesus in Hebrew. Um, so that's like the God and the goddess, you know. But so I the so am I a Christian or a witch? Some call it Christian witchcraft. You know, a lot of witches, we use the artwork from the Catholic Church, you know, to symbolize these things. But we're no Catholic, you know. I read Catholic books about Mother Mary and stuff, just to understand the energy of choosing that symbol, you know, as as something so significant. I founded the Yan Sui faith. Yan Sui means follow your heart. It's a word I invented because I'm not anything, you know. If I say I'm Rasta, people will say, well, you have to do this. If I'm say I'm that, you know, like I said, I in my 20s I was a die-hard fan of Mr. Armstrong, you know, which you probably don't know Rasta well enough. That's a Rasta thing. Um, many of us feel that Haile Selassie was the Elijah that prepares your path for Haile Selassie, which is Rastafari, which is why we're called Rastas. But if I say I'm a Rasta, then you'll try to tell me what I'm supposed to believe and everything. You know, hey, you're white, you can't be a Rasta, and blah blah blah. So I just said, well, look, I'll just invent a word. Yah is short for the Tetragrammaton, Yahweh. You know, I'm into the Kabbalah and tarot cards. And Su is the English word to follow. But Yah is in your heart. Yahweh is in your heart. The Sefer Yetzirah and the Sephiroth and everything comes out of your heart and out of word. You know, word created everything. So I don't believe God's a man in the sky. I don't believe in the idea that scripture, that any book can be the word of God. I love the Bible and have spent my life studying the Bible. I know the Bible real well. And to me, the Bible, for a long time now, has never needed to be perfect, you know. You know, Mother Mary is about mercy, and no matter what you've done, we all have Mother Mary as our go-to, you know. But I'm also a nerd. Like I said, I'm always learning about the Bible, but I'm always learning about a lot of subjects. Some of it's fiction, like you see. Here's I have so you can quickly see some of the, you know, X-Men. I was really into X-Men a lot for a long time. Right now, Squirrel Girl's a big thing with me. And that's a really good issue. But I love comic books. I love Lord of the Rings, the Vampire Chronicles, you know, things like that. In my adult life, it seems like I've spent my life raising my son. There he is. I have his face etched out so you can't see him, but you can see he has dreadlocks. You know, I started him with dreadlocks. He doesn't have dreadlocks today. Today he's, you know, a quarter century old. But he's had dreadlocks until I cut him off when I put him into kindergarten. Said you can choose to have dreadlocks later in life, you know. So he grew up in a Rasta home. So my point is like, so some of the accusations these days, because I'm a trans woman, you know, when I was going to college, I have a 2-year degree in arts and sciences, but I was studying to be an elementary school teacher. I just gave up and just got a really easy degree instead. To be an elementary school teacher, I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so I grew up babysitting and changing diapers, and most of my adult life, it seems like I've been raising my son. And like for me, when I vote, I'm wondering what their feelings and thoughts are about educating children. I think war is a stupid idea. Like I said, I'm a damn hippie, you know, peace and free love and all that stuff that you probably hate. I'm into astrology and, you know, I'm a damn hippie. I've been vegetarian a lot of my life. Now I'm flexitarian. I'm probably super annoying to you. But I'm really into science, and I absolutely do not disagree with the scientists and everything. I do believe gender is a spectrum. You can't. There's always been transgender people. It's a shame that the right side, you know. But you know, like I don't think that trans women belong in sports. You know, I think sometimes it's kind of case by case scenario, but I think that yeah, probably most of the time or all the time, I'm not sure. trans kids shouldn't get surgeries, but I think the hormones are fine, you know? So that's why I say I'm a liberal, you know? You can't really assume where I am, you know? Sometimes I do, you know, like for me, as far as Trump, like if Trump's watching this, I would say, hey, Trump, you know, oh my gosh, you're like my dad's age group and you're a lot, you know, you're a lot like my dad. And you know what, like the rocker side of me, my dad, the thing my dad and I have in common is Bob Dylan and especially the Rolling Stones. Before I knew about any of these bands, I was, you know, introduced to Bob Dylan and especially the Rolling Stones with my dad. Until this day, that's a big thing we have in common is the Rolling Stones, you know. And so I know that you and I could get along, you know. And you say you're into unifying, yeah. In a lot of ways, I am the enemy. So the reason I'm putting this video here is just a disclaimer. You know, I'm nothing super special. I'm no expert at anything. I have spent a lot of my life studying nutrition, the occult, and the Bible. And but I'm really more like a Buddhist than a Christian. That's why I'm a Yan Sui, you know. There has to be a separate word just for me. I don't really fit in any of the other boxes and things like that. But anyway, every video I've ever filmed, I've put it, when you upload a video, it asks you if it's for children or adults. Every video is for adults, and it says all over all my YouTube work everywhere that this is adult content. You know, so no children should be watching any of this. And you know, the stuff I do isn't really. You know, did you know Jim Henson started out entertaining for adults? You know, you can be, you know, like The Simpsons. The Simpsons were originally kind of shocking, like, whoa, this is a cartoon, but they're saying swear words, you know? I'm kind of like I'm a punk rocker. You know, I just told you about me. I was, you know, Deadhead, LSD trips, that's what started this whole who is God nonsense and all this, you know? But I hate war, and I'm not especially political. You'll notice, if you look at my videos too, that politics is not really a big part of my message. I am left-leaning, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I talk too much, but generally, I keep my mouth shut just because I live in a red state, and I'm not. There's, you know, like I think that parents should be in charge of their children. You know, if you're like, oh no, I'm their parent, I should be involved in everything. I say, yeah, you should be involved in everything. That's right. Some of the things like you'd have to be so stupid to believe that there's such a thing as a kid that goes to school one gender and comes home a different after a sex change operation. You know, by the way, I've had all the operations. I have boobs and a vagina, and it's weird that all you can see is my voice. I'll probably put pictures on here, but yeah, my voice is pretty masculine, but the more naked I get, the more the more you're all, whoa. But anyway, and yeah, I'm a liberal and a damn hippie and all that. But my message really is as far as like atheism versus not atheism. I was an atheist for a lot of my life. I was only Mormon for 4 years, from 1988 to 4 years later. 2 years of that as a Mormon missionary. So for half of that, so I was real extreme Mormon. I didn't give a shit before that. I was in the parking lot smoking cigarettes, and I was always into. If you've ever seen the movie The Breakfast Club, that's the what's his name? That was always in detention, Blender, whatever his name is. Yeah, that was what I was like. I was always in detention. I had to go to Saturday school all the time. Even in elementary school, I was always in trouble all the time. And I already was a drunk at a really disturbing young age and things like that, you know. I started smoking parsley and oregano cigarettes that I made out with toilet paper sometimes and things like that. It like disturbingly young ages and things like that. But yet, you know, as a hippie, you know, I spent my life studying peace, and educating the youth is more important than war. Why are we spending our money on war? You know, we should be playing football. You know, or baseball or basketball, and settling problems with sports. Sports originally were to train for war. So why couldn't they just replace war? Why don't we grow up? There's a time to put away childish things and admit war is a stupid waste of money, waste of time. So if the thing about Herbert Armstrong, the reason I brought that up is because for all through my 20s, I was into Herbert Armstrong. I've read a million of his books. He has a lot of books. But he's an avid, he doesn't believe in voting. He believes a true Christian would never vote because that means you think that humans can fix these problems when only a theocracy can fix these. If you look at my artwork from when I was in my early 20s, they fought for a theocracy, and like I've been all over the place. Today like I said, I'm a punk rocker, so I'd say most of the time I'm like a damn anarchist, almost a nihilist at times. But really, I'm no atheist and I'm no nihilist. I'm, if anything, a stoic, I guess. You know, and I do believe in voting, and I do finally vote. And now that I finally have paid attention to that subject after all those years studying only the Bible, and now I'm much more of a witch than I ever was a Bible person. As you can see, anyway, you can see the reason I'm making this video is just because nowadays you want to know where people are on those type of issues. I'll just spell it out and say exactly. What do I believe about? I won't be involved in anything violent or anything. I'm more of like the priest-like side of town. I'm interested in transcending ego, ecocentrism versus egocentrism, ECO versus EGO, I'm trying to transcend ego and learn how we all should just be able to get along, and like that's the side of the argument that I'm on. So it's like if you were Trump listening to this, there's no real reason for you to feel threatened. I'm in my early 50s. That means by the time you're done being president, I'm going to be like approaching, my senior citizen years are going to be just, a half a decade up ahead of me. I probably won't look real young by then. So like, it's like, let's just let me be a free thinker and take care of myself based on statistics and things like that. Cause like other surgeries aren't anywhere near statistically as successful as transgender. And I'm just, like just let me do. I've already had all the surgeries. Just let me do what I got to do, and trend. It's working. I look young and I'm happy. I should be no real threat.